Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Imperial Dane, with another Propagandacast for you, and today we have a 1 versus 1 on Angoville. Yes, indeed, Angoville. And who do we have in the southern corner as the Wehrmacht? 116th Panzer Division, not the clan but the actual division. Helliar, ready to take on the Americans in the guise of the 4th Infantry Division. Hajimemasite, we'll just call him Memas. That's somewhat easy, I suppose. Memas, Captain Memas of the 4th Infantry Division, Baker Company, taking on elements of the 116th. Let's see how this goes. And for those unfamiliar with the map, we have this long road going down right in the center of the map. We have a sort of invisible road, dirt path right here on the east, and the west is more open farmlands, while the east is less open farmlands, more farm building structures, all divided by some bocage. Dual victory points here, otherwise quite symmetric in terms of resources available. So if you're holding the western side, you won't lose a lot else compared to the eastern side, unless of course victory points. For the Wehrmacht, it can be a bit troublesome holding this point, since the Americans can close with some eats due to the bocage and such. So some problems can be abound there, and it's not unusual to see the Wehrmacht focusing right here, where there's a lot more open space and a lot less to interfere with the firing lanes of their machine guns and Volksgrenadiers. So a bit of nice chatting going on, it seems, between the two commanders. Anyhow, that's not really what we're here to focus on. We're on to focus on the actual battle. Both sides spreading out to the east and west, certainly regular, nothing new there. And always personally prefer to go for the more spread out version, because just in case the other one is focusing highly on the east, you won't have to suffer for it, and can easily continuing the other path. But there we go. MG42 team as the first out for the Wehrmacht, and a rifleman team out for the Americans. So there we go. Quite easy and calm start. The 116th apparently going straight for possibly this house to set up the MG42. Will be able to cover some spots of the area, including here, and there. So not a bad position. Not a bad position, and these buildings do have a tendency of more acting like a blocking towards points towards this base, rather than defending towards the south at times, I do feel. And the same sort of applies here, since most of the windows are nicely placed to cover down here, not really towards there. And the same again applies to here. It's sort of funny, but there you go. Pioneers being forced back by the rifleman team, who has successfully evaded the MG42 team. Pioneers certainly not looking good, down to half health already. Riflemen blasting away with their M1 Garands, and Pioneers trying to get out of there before it is too late. And we see a bit of Volksgrenadiers moving into the west, returning here. The riflemen are beginning to take this strategic point, which would certainly cut him off from this munitions point and any further resources, albeit currently not much here. In fact, the American has both of the high yield fuel points. In fact, high yield, I forgot about that. So currently not much fuels for the Wehrmacht commander, whereas the American commander will have plenty, and it will certainly benefit him if, for example, were to go for the BARs or motor pool or whatever he may desire in his American heart. And we see a second Volksgrenadier team joining the fight, where they go to the west to support this team, which is certainly not looking too well off, down to 2 men now in a fight against these 4 riflemen. Or will they go up here and possibly try to stop these riflemen setting up in this house? Not bad, not bad. Certainly able to cover a bit better with these windows, firing away at the riflemen. The riflemen exposed as they are taking this point and moving on, since they don't really have any reason to linger about, going for this munitions point. Volksgrenadiers on the hunt, still continuing a bit of fighting over there. Let's go have a look briefly. Volksgrenadiers supported by now Pioneers, getting out of there with all of the riflemen nearby and returning to here. Volksgrenadiers quickly getting into the house, and the riflemen sensing this and realizing they won't have much of a chance, get out of there. And we see the Pioneers have secured this strategic point so far. Most of the map and the more importantly the vital parts of the map, are in the hands of the American player. Helliar having his 116th Panzer Division spread out a bit too far with the MG42 in more of a blocking position, which can be easily evaded once you know it's there, which of course the American player does. We see a bit of Volksgrenadiers moving in there, and we currently have 3 Volksgrenadier teams out for the Wehrmacht commander. Certainly a solid start, and certainly plays along with that rule of thumb I have with minimum 3 infantry teams. And we see another fight between the Volksgrenadiers and riflemen. We'll have to see who wins this, but certainly not looking good for the Volksgrenadiers. We're certainly a bit more exposed. The riflemen having a bit more advantage from this hedges and such, and we have a bit of fighting going on here. Looks like an attempt at assaulting the MG42, but the MG42 gunner is swift and quick to stop the attempts at flanking, including these engineers with their flamethrowers, doing a lot of damage. One flamethrower team does manage to get inside though, and begins firing away with his flamethrower, just able to reach this building with it, which is certainly good to notice for any players if they are ever to experience something like this again. That 5 flamethrowers can hit from a nice range towards other buildings, and there we go. MG42 team not looking good, and now being reinforced by the riflemen. Although not much happening now for some reason. Flamethrower fellow seems to have taken a coffee break, possibly using his flamethrower to heat the coffee. We will never know. Volksgrenadiers certainly in a slightly exposed situation, not looking good. It's second MG42 team out. This is certainly a lot of manpower that has been used in the first tier, which could possibly end up backfiring against them. And what is this? A forward barracks. Oh goodness gracious, that's again a lot of manpower. In fact, a great deal of manpower so early up, and we already see here going for the supply yard, which could end up in an armored car, which would certainly not be good for Mr. Helliar, since with this much manpower in the first tier, he won't be able to actually reach the skirmish phase right away and get some packs or grenadiers with Panzer Division. MG42 team getting behind the forward barracks and reinforcing, while the Volksgrenadiers are getting shot a bit at, but also deciding to pull back and reinforce. Small movement in the west as Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers under the cover of the MG42 are moving ahead, seizing what they can in the west. Americans still holding most of the map, still holding both of the vital fuel points and 2 of the victory points. Although that might change very shortly. Americans completely ignoring this strong point again and going straight southwards. BARs being equipped, firing away at these Pioneers and probably going for this victory point once more. Looks like this Pioneer team might be falling down. No, it gets away in time. Riflemen still holding up these MG42 members, and Volksgrenadiers, the MG42, apparently not able to get off a shot. Volksgrenadiers somehow managing to run away these riflemen. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but apparently he must have thought there was some sort of assault going on with assault grenades and decided to run off. I can't say, but riflemen moving in from the east, again outside of range of the MG42, catching the Volksgrenadiers out in the open. The Volksgrenadiers certainly not looking good, might suffer heavily. Flamethrowers moving in as well, clearing out perhaps this MG42, unless the MG42 is quick to deal with it, and it is not. It is quite occupied with these riflemen in the building. Not good at all. Volksgrenadier team looks like it might be lost. There we go. Volksgrenadier team lost for the 116th Panzer Division, the 4th Infantry Division managing alright. Continuing to burn away at this MG42 team, although not having much luck after the first team member died. Riflemen getting out of there, while it looks like another rifleman team is continuing to seize this area again. Volksgrenadiers marching forwards and engineers getting out of there. Bit of fighting in the west as well. Counter-attack by the riflemen, forced back by MG42 and Volksgrenadier fire, although it looks like another Volksgrenadier was lost in the fight. And we have the 116th Panzer Division being supported by elements of the 2nd Panzer Division, Das Reichs Panzer Grenadier Regiment. Stormtroopers on the field. We'll have to see what he does with them, but that certainly confirms that he has gone for Blitzkrieg. And of course a much more offensive strategy, which has already sort of been revealed here by a rather forward barracks. not a entirely good position I'd be happy with, since it's awfully exposed. If things are being back here, it's quite quickly lost and won't do much to support in the longer run. And of course, it's just generally exposed and could, for example, be fired at something from up here. We'll have to see. Stormtroopers sneaking in, throwing off a bundle grenade, killing, oh my goodness, 4 riflemen going down, with the 5th rifleman being personally killed by one of the stormtroopers with their rifles. So far 5 kills already, quite nice, really earning their keep. And we see another rifleman force moving in, 3 teams all fully maxed out in numbers, 18 men, all with BARs. Volksgrenadiers certainly outgunned and outnumbered. Might easily end up very badly for them, although so far only losing health and not members. Pulling back towards the MG42 and the forward barracks. And we see a 50cm anti-tank gun opening fire on the forward barracks, apparently intending to clear it up that way. But Volksgrenadiers are on it and moving forwards to probably... oh, goodness gracious, hiccups. But going to move in and clear out this 50cm anti-tank gun. And we have all quiet on the western part of the map. Only a Pioneer team and the MG42 team. Pioneers having a bit of a break, it seems, not even laying down some mines. Volksgrenadiers clearing out the anti-tank gun quite easily because there was absolutely nothing to support it. Engineers do move in with flamethrowers, but not doing much except further damage. These quite lucky Volksgrenadiers who have so far not suffered a single loss in the latest fights. Stormtroopers once more managing to cause heavy losses to these Americans, forcing them back, already having managed 11 kills. Quite a nice testament to the strengths of these stormtroopers. Besides being tougher than grenadiers, they also have bundle grenades, which are much more lethal than regular grenades. And there we go, another rifleman down to the stormtroopers. Rifleman moving in, firing at the stormtroopers, who are seizing the point while under fire and exposed. Not good at all. Certainly not belying the veterancy of these supposedly 2nd SS Panzer Division Panzer Grenadiers, but they do manage to force the riflemen back, and a medkit has been supplied, slowing them down but healing them, which is certainly an advantage of the Wehrmacht. Of course, veterans who won would also ensure some healing, and 50cm